the product is now called the Jammy Bastard.
Yeah.
The Jammy Bastard.
I'm sorry, there is a brand somewhere in this mix. You'll see the four of us down at the farmers market in West Cork over the next few weeks with something called the Jammy Bastard that Shan has whipped up. We've got an ad of Jay running on two fins on each side.
Hey guys, welcome you Jammy Bastards.
I'm going to Man
Children
tomorrow.
sticky everywhere.
I'll be walking around Man to the jam people going, do you white label that?
My name is Sian Horn. I am the founder of Elite Pilates, the Club Women's Network, a national network for women that work for themselves. I also create content.
My name is Judy Russell. I teach people how to make videos through the Vid Academy, and sometimes I make videos.
My name is Jen, and I am the co-founder of a digital marketing agency called Velocity Growth.
My name is Jay Woodard. I am the founder and creative director of Ad32. We create content for SMEs, corporates, all different kind of products, food, fashion, all that kind of stuff. So it's between photo and video.
Jesus, episode 28 already, ladies, huh? Unbelievable. That's 28 weeks. That's even longer than 28 weeks. Almost, we're gone past half a year. And there's only 6 months left in the year, which is crazy. Every episode, we kind of send polls to each other on WhatsApp. And this was the one by far that kind of really stood out to everyone. They were like, yeah, jump on that one. So this week, we're going to be discussing the idea of product launches and PR launches. So we're going to spend about 20 minutes on a physical product and about 20 minutes on a digital product or / service. And we're going to walk you from pre-launch, launch, post-launch / post-mortem, and just to help people out how we would approach it as marketeers and business people, how we would approach all that stuff. But firstly, how are we all doing?
Amazing. I didn't realise you started. You got very lax, very casual.
I mean, I'm very classic. I saw the red light come on. I'm like, boom, podcast mode. Let's go. So we're going to do physical product first. So let's take, for example, a food product of some sort. Like whatever, I don't know, some jam or something. Let's go with that, or a local jam. Let's kind of just go based on that. That could be Irish market and then international as well. So we can look at that idea. So Jen, I'll start with you. And what I'll do is I'll get all of your inputs per section, poll, that kind of stuff. So Jen, if you want to give you an idea of, let's say it's a local Irish jam. It's, I don't know, call it Jay's Jam. That sounds dirty, but let's go with Jay's Jam. It's,
Ew.
3 flavors, blackcurrant, raspberry, strawberry, unbelievable product, unbelievable ingredients, very funky branding. Jen, if I came to you with this pre-launch ideas, what would you give me?
Well, I have one question first.
Yes.
How are you shipping it? Glass.
Okay. You don't ship glass,
is it? Yeah, well, glass breaks very easily in the post. So there's 2 factors there. One is that shipping will have a massive impact after we launch it in terms of whether people are going to purchase or not, because, add-on of shipping that might be expensive in 2 ways, because glass is heavy and glass breaks. So there's going to be a problem here with...
I got you.
Go for it.
Do you know those protein yogurts that squeezy, like the old school, and you have to screw off the top and you kind of can pour it out or you can squeeze it out? Have you seen those anywhere, like Aldi or...
Are you talking like a Fruby?
Not a Fruby. It's more, it's kind of like a rectangular pack. I don't have it. And it's like a screw thing at the top and there's like branded. It's different. There's like
almost like the kids squeezy.
Yes, like that. Let's go with that kind of, because it's light, it's different. You can kind of like squeeze it onto your toast instead of knife and whatever it is. Let's go with that. So it's nice and light and durable.
Perfect. Okay, so we've got all of our tick the boxes there. I'd be digging into all of the USPs at this point and just building out a plan. So like, are you local? Is it, from berries in your own garden? This whole, what's the artisan story that we can spin around it? If you're pricing it on the higher end, what is the quick win USP if we're pricing it below the market average is typically the two.
And what is USP for people who don't know?
The unique selling point. So, if you're kind of on the artisan side, it's very easy to do that in many respects because it's, the style, the aesthetic is all part of it. But also like, hi, I'm Jen and I've spent the last 5 years growing blackberries in my back garden and here's all the people who helped me. And there's probably a USP in the story of it because there is no necessarily USP on your jam unless it tastes like completely different to everything
Like-
else. And
like
there's so many
crack.
jams in the market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Class. Shen?
I don't think any of us would be surprised if Jen was actually growing raspberries for the last 5 years and is just about to launch a jam company. I think we'd all be like, yeah, sounds about right.
In her spare time that she hasn't
Yeah,
had off.
yeah.
Spare time.
Well, are we talking like before we launch?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
let's
we're
say
pre-launch.
launches in 6, let's say in 3 months.
Okay, well, the first thing I'd be doing is work out whether I should be launching. So market research and looking at like who my target audience is, looking at the competition, understanding the market trends, what flavors are going to be trendy in 6 months or whatever. I'd be doing all that before I even worry about if I'm going to stand out, because you, especially like if we're picking jam, you are going into a huge market. That is half of an aisle in Tesco's or Dunn's. Like, it is massive, you know. So I think understanding, you know, like I listened to loads of pods, and obviously back in the day, market research was a woman standing in Super Value or Dunn's with a clipboard saying, would you try this? What do you think of this? And ticking boxes. But there's something in it. And there's something in businesses doing that and actually getting to meet the potential customers that they're going to be actually selling to, and understanding their needs rather than the needs of the collaborate, you know, the Duns or the Tesco's, these massive companies that are going to be selling this product. So yeah, I think you have to go a bit further back before we think about even the launch itself to make sure whether
Yeah.
we should be launching in the first place.
There's even just like the small trick to that is just like, especially with jam, have you ticked the boxes of going to at least 3 or 4 farmers markets on a Sunday, and have people bought the product? Yes or no?
And got
Yes.
feedback
You
from
know?
them, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'd say at
100%.
least 3 months of
Yeah.
because especially like I love the idea of artisan food. I spend a lot of time in farmers markets, but that understanding of repeat sale and something like jam doesn't disappear overnight. It kind of comes out, you know, at breakfast time, or for some people a treat at the weekend if it's got sugar in it and stuff like that. Obviously natural sugars are in there anyway. But so it's not going to just, you know, disappear in a week and you have that repeat custom. So you could really got to work out like the size of that Tetra Pak that you're thinking of putting it in, how long that's going to last a normal person. If it's families that you're marketing to, how long it will last a family. If it's health conscious individuals, they might be, you know, if it's a healthy kind of jam, are they going to use it every day? It's a beast.
Protein jam. Let's go. Are we doing this? Are we
Protein
launching
jam
this
it is.
product?
I kind of feel like I want to launch a jam.
Protein jam it is. I
Is
know.
everyone
We're
else?
really getting into I don't mind, but like I've been working with a couple of food brands lately, and it's amazing what you could stick on a label that makes it sell. I mean, like jam is obviously vegan.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you don't need to stick
yeah.
vegan on it, but my God, does it
Yeah.
work?
So true. Like, Judy?
Well, do you know, I like it's funny that you say that, Shan, like, you know, like let's go back a little bit further. But remember, I had a big launch coming up. We were going on TV for another business, and the TV date was set, everything was recorded, and I had a call with you, Shan, and it was really, really good actually, because you said the same thing. You were like, step back now from it. You know, you've kind of launched this product without asking enough people. And at the time, I think you suggested it to me, or else someone else did, the mom test. It's a book that is like, your mom is going to tell you that everything about your business is great. So you have to go to people who are not anything to do with your business and don't care about criticizing you and get their opinions. So following the conversation with Shan, I had 5 recorded phone calls with people about it who didn't know anything about it. And also, I tried not to define what the product was. I tried to hone in on what their problems were that my problem could potentially solve. So I didn't say, this is what the product or the service is going to do, because then that it's leading, like it does lead them to go, oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea, and then all of a sudden they're like more positive about it. You know, instead it was like, are you looking for ways to preserve your parents' memories? And some of them were like, no. Or some of them were like, Instagram does that. Or some of them, you know, the answers that I would not have gotten in advance. But in my instance, people usually come to me when they're like, we're launching in a month's time. We need you. Jump on board. La, la, la. What can we do? So then in that case, then I like the first conversation I have, and I always bring this up. I'm like, you're bored of this, but the 5 W's. Why are you doing this launch? What is your key message? Who is it for? Where do you want to launch it? How are you going to measure success? And there's another couple of W's in there that I can't think of because I'm so tired. But that then once I take that, then I can go away then, and then I can start to kind of formulate how things will work then afterwards.
It's when. You were missing when.
Simple.
Yeah, when.
When, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Go on, Jen.
I was going to say, I forgot what I was going to say. How annoying. Yeah, no, I was going to say though, it is asking people that don't love you. So like say we were doing jam, right? I make a wicked jam and I give it to presents every Christmas and everybody tells me, this is amazing jam, Sean, and you should definitely put this in Tesco's. But they love me. They don't necessarily love my jam.
Yeah.
My jam tastes good because I made it for them with love. And so that doesn't always mean you've got a business.
There's, I think I brought up this book a couple of times. I actually just finished it recently, The $1 Million Weekend by Noah Kagan. But the book is available on like Spotify and other places now for audiobooks. But if you just listen to chapter 2, it's everything we just said in a nutshell as well, where the chapter is called The Unlimited Upside of Getting a Gold Medal in Rejection Before You Launch Your Business. And it's exactly what we went through. It's only like 10, 15 pages in the book, so it's not even a long listen if you just listen to chapter 2 of it. But it goes through that process end to end of being like, stop. You're the shite that people start when they're pre-launching a business. It's like, right, I have an idea. Let me build the website. I'm going to go buy the domain. I'm going to start building. You start building. I know people who have sunk their life savings into the build and not asked a single person if they fucking wanted it.
Yeah. Jesus, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. We have to define where our product is going as well, I think. So I think local mom and pop shops, not Tesco and Aldi just yet, nothing like that. It's too big.
Online sales.
Online sales as well. Door to DTC, straight to door.
Is this thing, is it in a Tetra Pak? It's not, is it?
We're working off the assumption that it is, but let's also caveat with glass for now.
I'm gonna go glass because
just give you an idea, but
not sustainable.
Well, we can try and find a fucking compostable one, whatever it is.
Yeah.
God, Shan, get off my ass. This isn't real, Shan.
I'm just trying to build a business here, Shan. We're just trying to sell jam, okay?
Yes, but if we're going to do it right, okay?
Okay, so we are a few weeks away from launch. We're doing all our pre-launch, so we're going to launch in stores, so shelves, door to door, and a few mom and pop shops.
Direct export.
Exactly, yeah. Do some export. Okay, so we've done all our due diligence. We know who our target market is. We know the costs. We know our shipping costs. Let's go with, let's say, glass for now, and we'll do, as we said, a caveat between both compostable, Tetra Pak, and glass. And Shan, I'll start with you this time. Launch is in 4 days. What should I be hoping for? Where should I be going? This kind of stuff. Obviously, I've planned all this already, but for the person just seeing it, am I social media? Am I email marketing? Am I that kind of idea for the launch, or whatever you think?
You are everywhere. You know me, I'm an events girl, so I love a launch event. I love showing people how they should use something, why they're using it, what the USP is, creating content for your social. Events are so good for that. People think they just like invite people and give them free product. That's not why I event. I event because it gives me content for a really long period of time. If you're really clever doing it, you've got all your testimonials there. You're asking people constantly throughout the day. If you've got somebody in the right place, and to make sure that they're harvesting the right information rather than, I see a lot of product houses actually a lot of the time, they just might rent, like yourself, Joe, they might rent a videographer, they might rent a photographer, but they really haven't storyboarded it out and they really haven't thought about that third person who might present for them on that day and harvest the information that they need. For me, so you're everywhere. If you know your why, you've already sent your press releases through. So that on the launch day, hopefully they will go live. If they are missed, because they won't always be picked up, then you have the launch event again, second press release that will go out, and then across every platform. And not if it's B2C, don't forget LinkedIn, because it is B2C as well now. So for me, you're everywhere. And if you do it cleverly, you're everywhere all together at the same time. Big impact.
It's interesting you say that, because platform flip is something we're messing with a lot at the moment, where we have B2C clients doing these like out of the park campaigns on LinkedIn that are just not seen there and doing really well. And then we've got like B2B companies who are crushing it on Instagram just because of the flip on it. But that's just a random side note. Also, random side note, I have never used someone here use the word event as a verb. I event.
Nice.
I love that.
So is that not normal English? I don't know. I'm completely dyslexic. Is you taking the
No.
piss out of me?
I meant it in a good way, as in like
Okay.
I would never consider myself like I'm still such a recluse, Jan, that I can't even comprehend. I like to event. I like to
yes,
go to events.
I do like to
Yeah.
event.
Yeah.
I love
I'm
it.
now putting on my Richmond voice now. I like to event every day.
Yeah, you need the Mrs. Bouquet voice for it specifically.
Absolutely. I should change it. I could have my married name, Carlton. It does sound posher, doesn't it?
It does.
Carlton likes to event daily. Darling.
Jen, while you're there, keep going.
I lost my train of thought. But we're
We're talking about we're launch. So like, where should we be seen? Where should we be promoting? The launch is happening. Where would you have eyes on? Where would you want people happening? Activations, this kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I suppose I'll come at it from the paid advertising perspective, because everyone's gonna come at it here from a different angle. And Chance, right? You're everywhere you can possibly be at this point. But what I would be doing is going into the ads managers, and I'd be dropping pins on all of the stores that you're going to be available in, and dropping a 10-kilometer radius around those, and just doing extreme top of the funnel awareness ads. I very rarely recommend awareness ads, but this is a perfect example of when you just want to get as much reach as possible. Now, there's a specific variation of the awareness ad that's kind of important for something like this, which is maximize ad recall lift to the maximum number of people. So the default settings aren't those. When you go in, you have to click awareness, and that'll default to maximum number of people. But actually, you want to change the objective to the maximum ad recall lift to as many people as possible, so that you are constantly reaching new people, but there's some level of frequency there for them to remember you in the same breath. So that's what I would be doing on the lead up, is slamming the key locations of the stores. And if there's a USP in there, or if there's an offer that is going out in the first one, usually with products, like any brand that I've worked with that's in Tesco's or places like that, they'll end up with the, they call them, is it the fins? Is that what they call them? Dan, you might know. Joe, the fins that come off the
side,
edge of the aisles. Yeah, the side fins, essentially they're an advertising placement in store. The ads should ideally marry those aesthetically.
Interesting. I used to work as a merchandiser. That was actually the worst job of my life. So I know all about the fins.
Yeah.
Horrendous job.
Judy, we've pre-launched, we've come up with a whole campaign idea of content and awareness ideas and this kind of stuff. Would you have an idea of some idea of content ideas for them, or what kind of content would you be putting out for awareness in this scenario?
Well, you know what? I think it's interesting, Jay, because so the campaign that I'm working on at the moment, like I had a call with an expert from TikTok the other day, and they were like, your content is overproduced. You need to get authentic content, and then sent me a video of this person with really bad sound who had over 100,000 views, kind of like a really bad shot. I didn't know. I watched the video and I was like, what have I taken away from that video? And this is where I'm really thinking now at the moment. And, it's come, all of our chat this year is kind of circling around this. I took away from the video that this person's brand was crap, that they weren't a professional person.
Yeah.
While they might have 110,000 views, now I'm questioning that person. So while this expert was telling me to go for this kind of strategy, I'm like, no, it's down to brand. So I think this business, right, is coming to both of us differently. I think they're coming to you for their TV ad, and they're coming to me for their Instagram campaign or their social media kind of videos. Maybe we make, there's 4 days to launch. I think we put out 3 videos a day. So 12 videos with ads, Jen running the ads then behind them. And then your video, Jay, going on TV.
There's a caveat here. there's a happy medium here between the brand and the authenticity that comes from the organic feeling. So I'm going off on a tangent because I've just got a really good idea. Sorry. The whole campaign should be about people getting in different jams.
Should be what?
About people getting in different
Life
jams.
Love.
Life jams.
Traffic jams.
Every sort of jam,
Yes.
but thank God I get to get home to X jam.
The best jam.
I
like
The
that.
best jam.
I want to ask,
love it.
you know what you were saying about the TikTok thing? I think the difference in you looking at that and saying that their brand isn't where you'd want to be. There's a difference between the person that created the brand doing an advert and the people that use the brand doing an advert. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So,
like user-generated content, it's okay if that's bad.
absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
So you're saying that looks messy, but that might not be created by the brand itself. But actually, that if that's their customer, that's what they want to see. So if we're talking about this jam now, this lovely jam, like who is our customer? Can I just ask? Is it like when I think jam, I think. See, it's full of sugar, so I'm thinking.
I think 25, 30-ish to 65, 80-ish. Because I think older people eat more jam than younger people. Would that be right?
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking 55 plus. I wasn't even thinking underneath that.
Kids, though.
Yeah,
let's meet the middle and say 35, because the moms will be buying it for the family and the Sunday doesn't. So 35 to 75, would you say?
Wow, that's big.
Would you say that?
I'm just going to say I don't think it's age. I don't think it's an age thing. I just think it's
you set us up for that, Shan. You set us up for that answer, did you?
No, I did. No, I'm saying who are our customers though? Our customers aren't health conscious. Like sugar-free. Jam though. But when I think jam,
I better not.
Oh, I wouldn't eat jam
because of sugar.
I can't remember the last time I ate jam. Yeah.
If I'm going to eat sugar, I'm going to eat chocolate. Basically, yeah. No, I wouldn't.
I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to treat myself right.
Yeah,
absolutely. I actually was talking about jam and scones last night on my Instagram. That's quite funny. But when I think jam, I think of children just getting in an absolute mess. I think of stickiness. I think there's a great reel that keeps coming up of kids, like 1-year-olds, sticking their head in their birthday cake and being covered in it. For me, that's jam. That's jam is just fun. Jam is just you can't even put jam on a scone without getting sticky fingers, sticky knife. Yeah. It's just sticky.
Devonshire scones, fresh whipped cream. I'm all in.
I was minding an 18-month-old the weekend before last, and we were eating out with the 18-month-old, and I'm like, the child didn't know me well enough. I didn't know the child well enough, and they were clearly reaching for affection. Yeah. And I just could see their hands, and I was like, absolutely not, are you touching me? And then they were crying. I was trying to Dettol them away.
Snots coming out their nose.
Yeah, and it was a lot. There was jam specifically in the mix, like a kind of sticky substance. I was like,
yeah,
no.
Guys,
and they had no problem being like,
guys, we're selling jam. Don't forget this. We're trying to sell jam here.
and my picture of a kid with jam all over their face is also the perfect picture.
It's true.
I thought we were selling children.
There's another avenue we didn't even think about is those little, as Shan said, the ones that come with scone, like the commercial B2B packaging. That could be a nice little look as well. But I think you're right, Judy. I think UGC is a big deal here pre-launch, so the word is getting out there. I think your cinematic style ads with snippets between, I think you promote the UGC on social and you promote the paid, as you said, the cinematics. Just if you can have it somewhat funny, like Jen was saying, like a tone to it, have the crack so people are actually talking about it. Because there are ads where people go, "Oh, geez, you said that. It's actually a very funny ad."
And I do think it's naughty. But if something looks really naughty and illegal, I potentially want it.
we call it the product is now called the Jammy Bastard.
Yeah.
The
Jammy Bastard.
I'm sorry, there is a brand somewhere in this mix. You'll see the four of us down at the farmers market in West Cork over the next few weeks. with something called the Jammy Bastard that Shan has whipped up. We've got an ad of Jay running on 2 fins on each side.
Hey guys, welcome, you jammy bastards.
I'm going to Man
Children
tomorrow.
sticky everywhere.
I'll be walking around Man to the jam people going, do you white label that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
don't even
just
make
have
it.
a really
I love
good
it.
business idea that I
love
fleshed
it.
out already.
Yeah.
I love it. And then that's your awareness. Are you doing print? Probably, as you said, you're doing the launches, the events. I think the events are a great call. I love content from that kind of stuff. It's very user friendly. I think food festivals is a big thing. If you're trying to get it like on the run up to it, have food festivals and reviews. If you can win awards on the way up to your launch, even better. Like the more awareness, the more write ups, the best. I think. Photo shoots, get that stuff. Like just have content coming out of your ears nonstop. I think.
Don't underestimate the value of flyer drops. I was
Yeah,
that ignorant
so true.
marketer for a long time that was like, print.
Digital. Yeah.
Who even uses paper anymore?
I was too.
Lots of people do. That works
I was
well.
too. Like locally, they're huge. Like they really are. Like.
Yeah.
Can I say as well, leverage your supply. So if this is a product that is going into smaller artisan and it has a good GP, because most people in food would have created a good GP for their wholesale because they know that the big boys really screw them on it, then offer that large, offer a bigger margin to some of your smaller distributors in exchange for PR coverage. So for instance, I have a client and this shop wanted to go in, but they're really pushing her on her margin. And I said, give them the margin in exchange for 3 reels a month, a PR piece next time they're in the local paper, you must be mentioned. And so we were leveraging her marketing budget against the margin to the shop. And actually, when you do that, the shop is talking about you more. They sell more of your product. So the margin doesn't hurt so much.
Good call.
I'm on fire today, guys. I'm on fire. I must have had some jam. It's that sugar.
Thank God you're on fire. Do you know what I think is good as well? Billboards. I think that they're actually quite reasonable. I used to think that they'd cost a fortune, but if it's a local product, they're quite nice. And like you do look at them if they're good enough when you're passing in the car and you're like, oh, interesting. And it's like what we were talking about last week, that prompting kind of thing where you're like, oh, I've seen it, or familiarity, and then you go into the shop and you buy it.
And also cars.
Branded cars.
Wrapping.
Wrap your car. I always wrap my cars, Now you drive differently for the rest of your life. You have to let everybody out and you have to be a really polite driver. But I remember when Innocent Smoothies launched in Ireland. I'm going back probably 15 years when they launched in Cork.
The green,
and they had
the grass.
Their grass
van.
Oh, yeah.
And you used to get like a free smoothie if you took a picture on Instagram with the van. So people would be spotting the van. You like wrapping your car. I get down to my shopping centre early on a Saturday morning, then I walk over to work and it's in the prime spot. Everybody that parks in Douglas is going to see Elite Pilates as they drive in. You can't pay for it.
You know what? You can get even better than the car and being careful and letting people pull out and all the rest of it. Every time someone's an asshole to you on the road, stick your hand as far as you can out the window and put up your middle finger. And when they take a picture of it, it's more likely to go viral. You'll get as much branding as you want.
It's true.
The other thing I used to do as well back in the day, I'd go into Harvey Norman and I would search. I'd go to every single laptop and I'd search Elite Pilates and then I'd leave. So every laptop had my company on them.
If I ever go into a Harvey Norman and just see pictures of Shan across all the computers, then I'll know where you've been.
But do you know what? Back in the day, that's what we used to have to do. You had to hustle. So I'd been Harvey Norman, Carries. I'd be running around everywhere on a Saturday, just sticking my website on everything.
There was one tactic that I completely thought, geez, why bother with that stuff? When I was working at 96 FM, they used to give out the free car stickers. And I was like, oh yeah, like who puts up car stickers? But the idea was if our patrollers see your stickers, they will give you a prize. So the idea is, well, I better put it up because they could be driving behind me or they could see it. And the idea is, but then you're in traffic, you're looking at the logo 100%. Every time. Every time you look at the back logo, you're going to 96 FM, especially with the radios. Like the radio's just there, like, oh, I'll go to that and see. Although, like it's old school marketing, as Shan said, it is old school. And there's definitely when you're launching a product like this, everything is on the table. You have to do pens, branding, everything like that. Do you know what I mean? Like there's definitely funny things you could do, like the different stickers and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, definitely. So product happened, launches happened, events are massive successful. Everyone's happy. you can finally relax, but you can't because you know you can't. Now the fun starts. So post-mortem, post-launch, what should I be aiming to do? Like, our awareness has got out there. We're on the shelf. Now we need to stay relevant. We need to stay on top of this. Judy, I'll start with you this time. What would you say content-wise and Instagram-wise and stuff? What would you be doing the whole time? Let's say for the next 6 months after launch.
Interesting. Like, I suppose I keep on top of the social media content, but like, I'm being asked to do that now for post the campaign that I'm on. I feel like you have to schedule, I'm going to upload 2 reels a day or something like that. But I think, and you can have like a taste test, for example, outside a supermarket or something, and get people to blind review what you're tasting, or get them to taste 2 jams and tell them which is better. But I think that a lot of that stuff you have to schedule in when you're going to upload, but you can't decide what the actual thing is going to be until you get post-launch, and then you see what the actual, like, the creativity, you can be certain amount of scheduled in terms of duration or amount and platforms, but not in terms of the exact content, because I think you just need to be creative, and the only way to be creative is sometimes on the spot. So, you know, I try to have the spreadsheet ready, but I'd also try to be as creative as possible. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, because I'm very video heavy there.
Yeah, for me as well, after that kind of stuff, I try, if I've built a brand strong enough and I'm proud of it and stuff and I know it's working, I would definitely start trying to collab with people and different, like, other brands. Like, for example, when I launched Hux and I saw it was good and people were talking about those buzz, I approached Jameson and I said, look, I want to do something with you. I think it could work, kind of demo works and stuff. And we did a Huck and Hooch event, it was called. And we made 3 specific donuts to match 3 specific whiskeys. And we had the baker talking. We had the person who made the whiskey talking. We got content out of our ears from it. There was competitions on the night. You were winning a box of donuts, you were winning whiskey, but it was all there. There was digital contests that you had to do on the night, and it was just people, just that kind of stuff, staying relevant with those kind of things, and just being in these, like, as I said, the food festivals, be a main sponsor, like have like jam eating contests, all this kind of stuff. Just keep relevant and keep fun to your demo, and is what I would say, and just keep getting feedback and build an email list if you can. I don't know how and what you would do on the content, but that's another episode altogether. What email marketing content you do for this, but definitely build an offline list so you can approach people as well for sales and stuff, you know. Jen?
Yeah. I'm working off the assumption here that everyone has put all of their trackers in place. There's as much tracking as possible that has gone on the paid ads.
Well, obviously,
Just
Jen.
Yeah, you're doing it, Jen. Exactly. We hired you to do it.
I haven't missed a
You
trick.
have that
Everything has
quarter.
gone perfectly, and now we're straight after the launch. Immediately afterwards, what you have is your biggest bucket of low-hanging fruit to get back in front of. So all of the people who didn't purchase. Now, there's 2 sticking points here. One is that we don't know who purchased in store. So we just have to kind of make some assumptions around that. There is, just a side note, there is some slick point of sale systems that some of our clients used where it recognizes the card and email details and things like that at the till, and it clocks it back to Facebook if they've had a view through or a click through in the 7 days or 1 day prior.
Wow.
And that's really helpful to clock conversions in store. But this is a broader system. Few things is that you'll want to get back from, like, if you're in Tesco or any of the bigger stores, they will be able to give you some demographical information around who's been purchasing, so that you can re-strategize some of the content, some of the pieces of the puzzle that you're probably missing on launch. They'll start to come together just afterwards. And I think at that point, it's like, you've got a learning curve, you've got a low-hanging fruit basket here that you want to pick back up as quickly as possible, but also the next few weeks as well as around re-strategizing based on what you're seeing stick. Because as we said pre-launch, you're everywhere. Okay, what spaghetti stuck to the wall?
Yeah.
And what do you keep doing?
Yeah. Shan?
Yeah, I think it's important to know, like, where they're buying, and the easy way to do that is to reward them for buying. So, like, you know, have a bit of fun with it on your socials, direct them to your website, maybe a tiny mini survey. You know, have you bought it yet? Did you enjoy it? Here's a 20% discount voucher for where do you want to spend it? Ask them, where do you want to spend it? And then you'll start to understand where people are shopping your product. That all comes from the engagement that you've done in that launch piece as well. You know, keep asking the questions. it's not just about advertising and sales. It's asking people to give you that information. Your social responsibility. So talk about it. You know, if you're a brand new business, people are asking now, you know, what is your social responsibility? You know, if it's jam, I don't know, it could be for bees. I don't know whatever it is. But have a think about that and think about other businesses when it comes to that. Maybe you plant a tree for every 10 jams sold. I don't know, whatever it is, but we need to talk about it. And from a PR perspective, you need to get the product in people's hands. You don't sell product without people trying it and tasting it, feeling it. And so you need to get it into people's hands. So definitely any product out there needs to come in a small tester size, and you need to look at who are my customers. You know, if they're, I don't know, if they're women 35 plus, then, you know, look at the networks, get it on the tables at other events, but you need to get it in people's hands. They need to eat it. So yeah, there's
Those
lots
kind
there.
of those people in the supermarkets who give out testers as well. Do you think this is the time for that as well, or is that pre?
Yeah, I think it's coming back. Actually, I've noticed recently it's coming back quite heavily, and I think it is from a market. But again, it's the person that you've got on that stand. I see often there's a couple of lovely ladies that do it in a shop near me, but I can't see them collating information. So that's
I saw like a really good machine recently, and it wasn't in Ireland, but essentially the screen had like a picture of a product, and it was to get a free sample out of the machine essentially.
Yeah.
So you tap it, and it's like, what do you think it's going to taste like? And you guess, and like, what do you think that, like, it gives you a few like experiences that you think you're going to get by just looking at it, and then you have it, and then the idea is to fill in a little bit afterwards again. So like both the before and after. I just thought that was really interesting because it tells two stories. What the general assumption was based on the product packaging and then the actual experience afterwards. Because if those two things aren't aligning, there's a problem.
And also as well, if you think of jam, what do you think? Jam and, well, I think jam and bread. No?
Scones, toast, jam and toast, yeah, scones.
Yeah. Do you know
cakes.
not know what this is? This is the sound of music. Jam and bread. Anyway, I'm obviously so old. But anyway, jam and bread, I think. So like if I was going into, say, I don't know, a bespoke, more healthy type of store, then I might be talking to the bread people that make the bread and say, you know, why don't we do something together? So look at the people that are selling in the same places as you as well and start doing some collaboration.
Yeah, don't be so depressed about your scoop of peanut butter.
Yeah.
Try it the American way.
Peanut butter and jam. Yeah.
But even that kind of stuff, that kind of content, like, you know, Americans try Irish jam for the first time and do those kind of React videos and all this kind of stuff, or British, like that's all campaigns you can get going, like, you know.
Yeah.
So we're done with that one because we're millionaires, obviously, because we just launched the best.
Yeah, I can't stop thinking about the Jammy bastard.
I know,
what scenarios he's getting into. Like, I'm sitting here excited. I'm just like hyped up for this.
Like a Dick Dastardly kind of character, but he's a lovable rogue, like the Jammy bastard.
Yeah, he's a right rogue, and everyone kind of likes him, even though everyone's like, "Oh, stay out of his way, you'll get
you're
in
a
trouble
cheeky
if
Irish
you're around
fella,
him
like.
at all."
Yeah, you're a cheeky Irish fella, like.
We need to get a jam company to actually just sponsor this episode because like this is a great jam episode.
Right. So we've done that. We've done our jam. Let's kind of, because there's no point going back over everything that we've talked, because some would align with a digital product / service. So quickly, let's start with pre-launch for a digital. Same scenario. You're doing your market research. You're getting your awareness out. Jen, will we go service or do we go digital product, or does it matter? Is it kind of the same thing?
Same, really. I think you're just pulling some of the key things out of the mix from a paid advertising perspective. Is you're pulling the awareness piece out because you've got no reason to be that broad in a local area specific to a store where you're not sure where people are going to purchase or not. You're probably maybe pulling the flyer piece out if you're looking at the cost saving side of things, because it's not always hugely relevant to services unless you're doing flyer drops to businesses. And you're just completely looking at trying to gather as much data as you can for that service or that digital product, because I'm so biased, but in my mind 90% of the advertising on that is online rather than out of home.
True. I think so too. Shan?
Yeah, I don't know actually. I kind of lost my train of thought after. I'm still on Jam, but
So,
We want
like,
Jam.
yeah. So we're pre-launch on a service or a digital product.
Here,
Like,
Shan. The
yeah.
service is
yeah.
specific, a specific digital marketing agency that caters to the jam industry.
Yeah.
Oh,
Could you imagine? Ooh. Well, we say niche down. That's really niche. But yeah. Look, for me, this is about planning. So it's strategy, and I think the most important thing, I see a lot of people launch things, and you can see they've just decided to do something last night because they haven't hit the target that they wanted to make by the end of the month, and they've just gone out extremely quickly, and then that doesn't work, and 3 days later they're launching something else. For me, it's like planning. Give yourself space to put the strategy together properly. Do your market research. I think that's the most important thing when it comes to this as well. Because what we think is great, others might not. And then go out, not slowly, but test the waters.
Okay, Judy.
I think every time I've bought something online digitally, it's been the hype that's got me into it. And like we've kind of spoken about that, but like there's a different build up to digital hype where it's like 5 days to launch. You know, you wouldn't really say that about a product, 5 days till our product is available on the shelf, but like there's something about like 12 o'clock on Monday, we are launching. And I don't think I've ever done it right because, you know, I'm like, what if the product's shit and everyone hates it? And I've kind of like lost confidence in it, but I've seen other people do it and been like, oh, they're just killing it. Like they're nailing it. And then the scarcity. 5 days to launch, 100 people are allowed in. That's what Curious Refuge did. Remember that, Jen? And they were selling an AI filmmaking course. The hype was insane. The scarcity was there.
Oh yeah,
but
I
still
sent that out. And then
yeah.
they had the phenomenal social proof, didn't they? It was like some production company in Hollywood were backing it or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah. But then when I actually got to the buying page, it was like 500 quid. And I was like, nah. But I do believe that other people definitely bought that. I would have bought it if it was like less than 100.
Yeah. I think here as well, from the get-go, you're building an email list. Make sure not to miss our drop. Make sure to be notified for the next launch.
Oh,
like
your
this kind of
drop
stuff.
is going from that
Yes.
email because
Yeah.
that's what you're building towards, because you're not launching, you're not shipping people to the site. You are building that list is 90% of what you're doing.
Yeah, I completely agree. So yeah, pre-launch on that. Then it's launch day. Launch happens. Everyone's out there. Shan.
What am I doing?
So
Sorry.
you've launched.
Launch day.
It's launch day of your product.
Oh yeah, what am I doing?
Like
I'm listening to my phone ping. Ping, ping, ping. Because I've done my launch so well, my phone is hopping off the table.
Okay.
And then I am hustling like a bitch. I'm going
Hustling in what way?
I'm like any kind of sales is hustle, you know, because that generally doesn't happen. You get some pings without a doubt, and depending on the lead up and the build up and the FOMO or JOMO that people might be feeling, then they, you know, you get your sales. But if that's all you do, that's not enough. Like you need to be linking in with bigger companies that could feed. Think about the people that feed into your business. So like if I'm selling a digital marketing product, I'd be contacting the Pitmans, the MTUs, the people that have students in that field and say, look, I've got this product. If your people want it, here's a 20% discount voucher. And by the way, less than 20%, don't even bother ringing me because I wouldn't bother myself. You know, and I'd start feeding. So I'd want people feeding from other avenues, not just me directly.
I think a big problem that people have with digital services, especially digital products as well, specifically courses or something that you have to fill, like an event, is that they do all the hype, assuming that the hype works to get the full numbers. Doesn't always. Like if you have to fill a room of 50 people and you're going hype central, and then on launch day you only have 20, it's almost embarrassing to go back out with your marketing to say 30 places left a few days after going too intensive on the hype. It's very difficult to backtrack to fill the slots. So the ideal is always to fill half your slots by hustle, like hustle your life away for half the slots, and do your hype for the rest. And then maybe you'll have a little bit of excess, but you'll, like, especially on a first run, you're not going to fill the slots entirely using hype marketing.
Yeah.
90%
DMing.
of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people say to me sometimes, "Oh, I've not sold enough tickets." And I said, and I'll say, "Show me your phone." I'm like, "Who have you rang? Who have you sent a DM to? Who have you WhatsApped? Who have you inboxed on LinkedIn?" And they haven't done anything. They thought that just doing that advert is enough. And I'm like, "Oh my God, no! You've got to contact everybody. This is not
Yeah.
easy. You have got to hustle."
Jay, you're on mute.
Sorry. There's a guy drilling next door. Apologies.
Oh.
Like in that scenario, Shen, I have a €50 product, let's say, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And like, am I texting the people like saying, "Hey guys, just launched this. Let me know if you want it." Or is like, am I sending it to Jen saying, "Hey Jen, here's this. I think it might help you."
Your first
or, like,
10 people, you're probably saying, "Hey, I've made this. I think it's perfect for you. I'm going to be selling it for 50 quid, but I'll give it to you for a tenner if you give me a little bit of feedback on it."
But I mean, launch it, because launches happen, and that's what I'm saying. Shanna's saying, text everyone, ring everyone, get in touch with everyone. Like, Shanna, what's your approach there to that? Because you don't want to piss off friends. You don't want to be kind of annoying people like that. Do you know that kind of thing? Or am I wrong there that they should be supporting you and getting behind you? And
you wouldn't be pissing off your friends, because you'd probably be texting only the people that you think was suitable anyway.
Yeah.
It goes back to your market research.
But like sometimes, so like I sent a text yesterday, someone said, "Look, I know you're not around, but I think this might suit some of your people. Here's a discount code for 15% if you want to pass it to any of your people." That's a really nice thing to do. You're not, you're not asking of them. You're giving them something.
Yeah.
But you do need to do that. And we don't ask for help. And I think, like I spend most of my time giving things to people. So if I'm asking something of somebody, I kind of expect it to happen. But that's only because I do it without question. And if it's something that I really can't do, I always tell them straight away, "Listen, I actually can't do that at the moment because I've got this product going out and it will conflict. I've just got to get this done first, but just know that I'll be there to support you, whatever, after that event." But yeah, there's so much that goes on behind the background that people just don't see. And that's why so many people fail, because they look at something and think it's easy.
Yeah.
Judy, content-wise, how would you approach this in the scenario of, right, because you're not doing UGC stuff here, really, unless it could, like, testimonials and stuff, maybe, but like...
Testimonials? Yeah, it's like anyone who actually takes it on. Like, I suppose you also have the job of like supporting the people who have bought it. Like, do they actually like it? Do you need to tweak it? Is it actually good? Like, what is, like, I suppose you're doing that with a select group of people anyway beforehand, but now it's going out to people who aren't your mom. And you're like, oh God, are they completing it? And especially with digital courses, like, you're able to see the completion rate, but the completion rates are so low on digital courses that, like, you're like, I need them to finish it before they can give me a testimonial. What's happening here? So I don't know. You know what? I don't have the answers, because I've tried. I've succeeded in one digital course, failed in another, and I'm not sure I've done enough reflection yet to see what the problem, where the issue was with the two. You know, I think I undercharged, to be honest, on my second one. The one I did well with, my course was €250. The course that didn't do well was €50, and there was probably more in the €50 course than there was in the €250 course. It's a minefield,
because it was a less value. They didn't really care about it. Like, that's fine. It was really good.
And also when, Judy, as well, what year?
Actually, that's a good point. So the first course was out probably during COVID times, and the next one was out like a year and a half ago. So yeah, that probably actually did have a big impact on it.
I would have given you $250 during COVID. The government were giving me money for doing fuck all. never happened before in my life. Never will happen again.
So true. Yeah. I think with that, just see, it's hard. I think, like, as I was saying before, like, dropping little clips as well, like Jen does, like I do sometimes, stop doing this. Here's 10 reasons why you should do this, and have snippets from your course or your digital product in that. Write, advice down below. I'll send it straight to your inbox, this kind of stuff. I think it's 90%. Like, I think it's just that kind of, as you said, that's kind of DMing as well, Shannon. I guess I get like back and forth the whole time. It's funny, at the moment I have a partnership running with audio.com, a paid advertising that's going. It's like 120,000 views on, or whatever at the moment. But these people are just DMing me. It's so random. Thank you. I'm like, okay. No
You
problem.
should see. Welcome to my inbox, Jade. Thank you is the least of my problems.
Oh, did you see I got a mean one last week?
Did you?
You?
I finally got a mean, yes, and I wouldn't mind, but she mentioned
Was it
my
a comment
age.
or DM?
A comment.
Ooh, it's nastier when it's a comment. I feel the
Public.
pinch more when it's out and about.
What was it?
Actually, it said, I talked in stories about, things are very difficult on social media at the moment. It's very hard to have a good time there because there's so much crap going on in the world. But I put up my usual try on, and a woman said, that's it, I have to unfollow. For God's sake, you're 50. Who gives a shit what you're wearing or something? So I obviously called it out straight away. It was the 50 thing I didn't like. I was like, actually, I'm nearly 53, you cheeky bitch, and I look hot, so get over it. But the outpour was so worth it. I was like, I might get someone to put a shitty one up every now and then because everybody else was going fierce on her.
I've started leaving them up. I've started leaving them, and I've started. It depends on how bad they are, but I will leave it, and then I'll reply, and then I'll give it 20 minutes. Now I'm checking it every 30 seconds because I'm like, reply.
And was it a comment under a photo or something? Was it?
Yeah, it's under a try on.
Okay.
Just basically saying you're an old woman. A woman. Her page was Joy from gardening. So we spent a few days having jokes about gardeners and great fun with it. But then somebody sent me another one. They screenshot another one and said, I don't like this one either, Sean. And it was just like something, because I always say, should I take it or leave it for clothes, And this one went, leave it. Oh my God, just leave it.
I think that one's kind of like a little bit okay because it's like, it's the question. You asked the question, yeah. But the other one, I had a huge paragraph there a few weeks ago, like a storybook essentially, about how great it was to finally come across a woman who this man could perceive as intelligent because I was covered up. Like, I just naturally dress kind of comfy. That's the end.
Yeah, you have a lot of like.
Yeah,
Middle East Asia
episode in balaclavas. Send it to him.
Yeah.
I sent a long message back to the man who had a profile picture of Keanu Reeves, by the way. So I started my message.
It might have been him.
Hi, Keanu himself. I really appreciate it.
I had to get on to Jen last week about her online harassment because the person who I'm making videos for is getting harassed online. And basically they put up a photo of his house and his air code and his address and said, let's smash this guy's windows. Really bad stuff. Police are involved, TikTok's involved, everyone's involved. But Jen told me it was called doxing. It's when you take someone's personal information and put it up online.
Yeah.
Never heard that word before. But it was great to talk to you about it, Jen, because...
Messy.
Your phone number?
My phone number is doing the rounds. You should see my WhatsApp at the moment.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
How did I get that?
I assume it was on J Digital's Google My Business some few years ago. Or some. It's floating somewhere.
Yeah. Jesus.
No.
Messy. So on a positive note, let's go to the postmortem of our launch, of our digital launch. And we've launched our product. Done well, sales are going well, but obviously we want to keep sales going and we want to keep people buying. So, Judy, what's your approach here for this? Is it awareness campaigns again? Is it more content? What's the crack with it?
Again, what I think I'm doing wrong, and like I got this from another video yesterday. It was like, McDonald's don't make any money on their cheeseburgers; they make it on their fries. Do you want fries with that? At the beginning of your strategy, you have to think what you're like mainly selling, but then you have to think of what your bolt-ons are. My biggest bolt-on, I suppose, is Amazon affiliate. So, when people do my courses, I can send them to my Amazon links and earn a little bit off that. But it's those things that I definitely need to be more strategic about. It's not just the product, it's the things that you surround around the product that you need to kind of maybe focus more on, even in my next launch of something like that.
The upsells.
Judy, you're the biggest upsell.
Yes, queen.
What is it?
You're the
biggest upsell, not your Amazon affiliates.
Thanks. OnlyFans.
Only Jam. Sorry. The list is endless.
Jesus Christ. Go on, Jen, your post-mortem of this whole thing. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm reflecting back through the metrics on the social side. I'm figuring out what intros, retention metrics, all of the content side of metrics to see what performed well in terms of getting everyone the cheapest cost per click and then the cheapest cost per conversion. So I'm looking at it from that perspective. The upsell, cross-sell comes straight after that. And then after the upsell and cross-sell, it's like looping back into the initial again, whether the founders or whether whoever's working on it has upgraded based on feedback. You can go back into your hype cycle again if it's like level 2 or version 2 or package 2 or, you know, an initial different variation. Sometimes you'd see like a collaboration at that point, like between 2 tools or between 2 courses or between 2 services where you can package up together, go back through the cycle hype again there. Or alternatively, you're launching the next thing and going back into the same loop again. That's on the assumption that you can't sell to the same person again. You have to go from the start again. If it's monthly recurring revenue, it's a subscription, you're looking at retention, then you're looking at swooping in on your testimonials, hyping up the new features, what's coming next, keeping people hyped to stay mixed as well. Because what you don't want to do is like hype people into a subscription and then fall off the face of the planet.
Yeah. Shan?
I'd look after my people. So if it's a product, an online product that I'm selling, I would keep them accountable. I might do a check-in with them. So the after sales is a check-in. How are you getting on with it? I can see you're on level 3 or wherever they are in that course or whatever. And if those people have really enjoyed it, I'd make them my affiliates. I would say to them, I'm glad you've enjoyed it. It's lovely to get your feedback. Leave a testimonial and get €10 off your next blah, 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 blah. Introduce a friend and get blah, 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 and start getting those people to sell for me.
Great call. Yeah. And I think like we said as well, just content wise, have the reviews out, have user generated content of them using your products like that, be it your affiliates, as you said, Shan, there. And I think as well, as Jen said, look at your ads, see what worked, rehash it, repurpose it, get it across. The likes of podcasts and stuff like that, would you offer yourself to be a guest on that kind of stuff to talk about it, and then you can kind of, or even sponsor podcasts for this kind of stuff? Wink, wink.
Well, to be honest, I was just going to say I would do definitely sponsorship over going on, because a lot of people that do these products, like when it comes to podcasts, like if you just go on to sell a product, an online product, it doesn't work. It doesn't sit as well with people.
Fall.
No, it doesn't fall at all. So 100%, I'm all about, look, I sponsor podcasts. It does really well for me. And that's why I love doing them. And that's why I love sponsoring others.
Yeah. Well, I think there was, I hope that person, whoever's listening right now, has a pen and pad, because there was a lot of stuff there. We said a lot. And there was a lot of gold there, a lot of stuff. If you are launching a product in the future, it's all good to have that kind of stuff. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your time,
there might be a
ladies.
Second donut shop in this called the Jammy Bastard too.
Just let's go, like, because I had a bastard before, it was a peanut bastard, but yeah. Class.
It's our bolt-on.
Exactly. Yes, Michael Bolton.
Now I want you all to go and watch Sound of Music, please. And next week I want you to know what this is.
I can't watch anything in old colour.
Oh my God.
I can't see you, Shan. My internet is so bad I'd turn off the video. I know the Sound of Music.
Okay.
I'd be quicker to watch it like forced in black and white than I would old colour. I don't want that. Oh, it's contrast. The sepia tones or something. It's the I feel like I'm watching everything on an Instagram filter.
And on that bombshell, we shall end the episode. Thank you so much for listening. Please like the episodes, review us if you haven't reviewed us on Spotify or Apple or wherever you're listening. Really appreciate it, the support. If you have any questions for us, DM us across our socials or DM the Unbranded page on Instagram. Make sure to follow us. If you're watching YouTube, appreciate you watching YouTube. Hit a subscribe and like the video. Always helps.
Exactly.